Hello everybody, Paul here. Thanks for tuning in to RDTV today, where we're driving Assetto Corsa and a selection of awesome Corvette mods by talented modder Someone. Now, we've got 4 cars that we're going to try our hand with today. This one first and foremost, the Corvette C4 Zr1, the Corvette C6 Grand Sport, the Corvette C6 Z06, and the Corvette C6 Zr1. Confusing naming structures, yes they are, but these are 4 exceptionally well designed and created models by Someone, and are available as free mods at RaceDepartment.com, and they're well worth giving a quick spin and sharing our impressions of this American muscle road car. Now, normally I don't go for road cars, I'm more a race car fan, but Corvettes are something a little bit special and deserve a little bit more love and attention than the standard performance sports car, if you will, from the European market. So I'm looking forward to giving these 4 a try and seeing what they feel like in Assetto Corsa. Without further ado, we're going to go to the VIR National Course and have a little race and see what we think. Starting off with this one, the Corvette C4 Zr1, the oldest of the 4 cars, oldest in terms of release date of the real vehicle. Of course, these are coming out in stages by Someone, and well worth a try, so let's give it a go. See you on track in a moment. Okay, we're back, we're on track, let's go racing at VIR in a Corvette C4 Zr1, I think it is. It's like the Porsche 911s, I've never ever got the naming structure right with these Corvettes. So hopefully that's right. I'll watch this video back when I'm done and cringe at my mistake. But we're on the VIR Patriot course, which is the shortest version of the Virginia International Raceway. And as such, because we're in big American 90s street cars, it's going to be a dicey couple of laps or so while the field spread themselves out, so we will apply appropriate amounts of caution. Oh, little lock up there, but we got away with it. Yep, we've got no turning ability in this thing, as you would expect from a 90s American supercar. Renowned for going quickly in a straight line, not so much for the corners. Oh, my goodness me, we're actually all over the place, but we've made it round, we've survived just about, and that'll hopefully be our last trip across the green stuff, and we'll keep to the dark grey solid tarmac. So, before we get on to the Corvette itself, I do want to talk about VIR a little bit, because frankly this track mod is just too good to gloss over by mentioning it by name and not speaking. It's the VIR, Virginia International Raceway. It's a mod track for Assetto Corsa. It's been out a little while now, to be honest, but it's of the absolute highest quality. Fantastic mod, really on a par or above Kunos levels. Wonderful track, comes in a number of variants. We're racing the shortest one at the moment, the Patriot course, but it comes in 5 or 6, if not more, different versions. I can't quite remember now. All of them splendid quality, really well put together, great performance, and just wonderful to have this sort of track available in AC. As standard content, there's very little from the Americas in Assetto Corsa, North America or Canada or anywhere in that sort of region. We've not got much in terms of track representation, and VIR for me is one of the finest tracks in the United States. One that I don't know much about, actually. I don't think I've ever really seen much in the way of real world racing at VIR. I'm aware of it, I'd heard about it in various different written media and maybe seen the odd highlight race here and there, but I'd never been quite so aware of just how shockingly good the track is until getting it for Assetto Corsa and driving it myself. One of the many reasons I love sim racing and love modding, actually. It exposes me to things that I wouldn't ordinarily have had access. And VIR's one of those little golden gems. A really brilliant little track. Well, actually it's a big track. This is the little one we're on, but in its full configuration it's quite the beast. So if you've not tried VIR yet for AC, and I believe it's also available in R Factor 2, but I may be wrong on that one, so don't take that as gospel. Give it a go. Well worth some time and effort, because it's an absolutely marvellous mod. One of the finest tracks available as modded content in sim racing for me, for Assetto Corsa, for sure. But anyway, enough of that. We're not here to talk about VIR. We're here to talk about the Corvette collection from Modder that goes under the name of Sum1. And this one in particular, released in 1990. This has got all the hallmarks of the iconic Corvette brand that it represents. It's big, it's got aggressive lines, very actually, very eye-catching for its time in the aggressive design that it's got there. It's, for an American car, it's not got bad handling actually. I mean, again, I apologise to our American viewers if what I'm to say now causes offence to you, but let's be honest. Sports cars from the US aren't known for their Lotus-like rolled holding and handling. They're normally big things, they're normally a bit boat-like round the corners, but they've got kick-ass V8s under the hood and eat up tarmac in a straight line like it's going out of fashion. And Corvette are no different. Their cars, especially around this era, the 1990s, were more than a handful behind the wheel, and that's why it's wonderful. That's why I love it. See, as I've just gone a little bit too over exuberant there, and we're doing a lot of grass tracking here, and I dare say that's going to be that's going to be the case throughout this video. But yeah, this car really feels top banana when it comes to the way it handles and the physics. And that, no doubt, is due to the influence of David Dominguez, the chap who's done the physics for these Corvettes. Now, if you recognise that name, it's probably because Mr. Dominguez has had responsibility in greater or lesser extent with a number of high-profile car mods for AC. And he's also involved in doing the physics for the RSS Race Sim Studio outstanding quality pay mods that they release. So for David to have lent his hand in doing the physics for this car is a big coup. He's one of the most respected physics modders, I think it's fair to say, in Assetto Corsa, produces physics of the highest quality, of which this car, or these cars should I say, but we'll come on to the others later, are of absolutely no exception. They are fabulous. They're really talkative cars. They really tell me what they're doing. Now, I say talkative quite a bit, I've noticed in my videos, and if you're wondering what I'm meaning by that in sim racing terms, what I mean is, in a real race car, a lot of the feeling and feedback you're getting from the car comes from your bum. That's why they say seat of the pants driving. You can feel what the car's doing underneath you, through the seat, through the floor of the car, because you're sitting, hello, so low to the ground. But in sim racing we don't get that, unless you're lucky enough to have a very expensive high quality motion rig, and to a lesser extent some butt kicker tactile immersion amplifiers bolted to your rig, of which I have neither. So your feeling, your connection to the motor comes through visual and audio cues, and also the force feedback in your steering wheel is probably the main one. And when I'm talking about talkative, what I'm meaning is the messages that the car's sending to me through the steering wheel, through the force feedback. And this car does, in my opinion, a really excellent job. I can very much feel what the tyres are doing, I can feel when they're locking, I can feel when I'm getting understeer, which you get a lot of in these. I can picture and imagine the tyres and how they're skipping over the road really well in this mod. I can feel when I'm losing rear end traction and the back end's going to go. And that's a massive thing for me in a sim racing car. It's huge actually, it's probably the biggest thing in a sim racing car. And the best way I can always tell how good a force feedback is, for me, is when I can feel the rear end going before I can see it go on screen. And in this car, that's very much the case. You can feel the rear tyres losing grip and the car wanting to pivot round on you. I'm not saying I can do anything about it when it happens, but you can feel it really well in this car, and that's testament to the physics that have been applied, and the force feedback that generates really is of the highest caliber in my opinion. So outstanding job has been done there by David and the team. Then we move on to the 3D model. Now, if memory serves me correct, and I may be wrong, so I may be proven wrong on this one, forgive me if I am, I believe this originally started out live, was intended for rFactor 2, and then the project moved on and was upgraded for Assetto Corsa. And the 3D model, external and internal, is excellent. Really good detailing in the cockpit, which is where I spend all my sim racing time, looking through the virtual windshield, and the quality and the attention to detail that's been put in is very, very high. As it is on the externals of the car, they're very clean lines, there's nothing noticeably wrong I can see, really good attention to detail has been applied, it all looks very sweet, very crisp, and it all gives good FPS as well. So a really excellent job, a first-rate job some might say, has been done on the modelling of these cars as well, which is a relief because that goes hand in hand with the excellent physics to create a really, oh no, I'm going to go for inside then, which creates a really top quality mod. So I'm highly impressed with that. I think they've done, as a whole, the team, a fabulous job. The only downside to it, and I've mentioned this in a previous video as well, is it borrows stock sounds from the Kunos C7 due to not having access to a sound modder, although they have openly stated on more than one occasion, if any whoa! LOAI, calm down with your mid-corner braking. If any sound modders are out there available and want to work on this project, to contact someone, and he will be happy to have a discussion about what can be done there. And that's really the only downside I can give it. It's an exceptionally good mod, it's an exceptionally enjoyable and rewarding drive. They're really beautiful cars, and it's really cool to see cars of this kind and of this era brought to Assetto Corsa, so I'm really pleased about that. And yeah, 1 of 4 down, really impressed. Let's try number 2. Right, next up, this one, Chevrolet Grand Sport. So, we've got a bit more modern this time round, and let's go. So, still very much a typical Chevrolet in its design characteristics, but with a modern twist. Now, I'll be honest, I've recorded this video once already, but forgot to turn the webcam and mic on, so we're going to have another go. I hate doing things twice, so forgive me if I look ever so slightly disappointed to be recording this at silly o'clock at night for a second time, but never mind. So this is the C6 Grand Sport. Now, as I say, it's a little bit more modern than the last car, the C4 Zr1 that we took out, but it's still got some of the crazy Chevrolet goodness that you would expect from these here Corvettes. So although it's modern, do not be fooled into thinking that this is anything like a planted and sedate and straightforward drive. It's still incredibly leery. It's still a wild ride, which is brilliant, which I love. The steering is a little bit lighter than the last car we took out, but much of the same characteristics exist. It still wants to snap away from you in the corners, it still lights up the rear tyres on acceleration, and it's still got elongated braking distances compared to, let's say, other more European performance sports cars, and certainly my usual fare, which is racing specification cars that I tend to pick. more often than not in my sim racing adventures. I'm not going to try that one, so I'll let you keep the position. Although he's run wide, so can we sneak it in? No, we can't. Okay. They do go sideways nicely. I really like that. I love sideways action. There's not enough of that, in my opinion, in motorsport. Everything's all running on rails nowadays. Even road cars, there's that much electronic trickery going on. It practically drives themselves. It's impossible to go have some fun. Stamp on the loud pedal, burn some fossil fuel, go sideways in a plume of tyre smoke. That's what people buy these cars for, isn't it? If you've got enough money to own something like this, then you're probably going to want to drive it like an idiot with no thought to the consequences of part wear or put in a fresh set of massive fat tyres back on it again when you've burnt them all out at your local superstore car park, parking lots, or whatever it might be. Yeah, and I like that. I like that. God bless America for still building cars like this. That's what I say. Still building super crazy, silly, fast cars that make really big, loud noises and want, perfect example, want to go sideways at the drop of a hat. It's marvellous. If I had silly amounts of money to spend on a performance car, it would absolutely be something like this rather than one of these basic GT cars for the road that you get now from the likes of McLarens and Ferraris and all that Porsche and all that good stuff. I like crazy stuff like this. This is where fun is had, people. You need to do that in motor racing as well, to be honest with you. It's too much like driving about on rails. I miss the good old days. You got the Ronnie Petersons and the Gilles Villeneuves of this world throwing it sideways. In my opinion, all motor racing should be designed in such a way that going sideways is quicker than being neat. You look at Alain Prost, for example, outstanding driver, absolutely one of the finest Formula 1 drivers pretty much ever, certainly of his generation. Known as the Professor, Le Professeur, very economical in his movements in the car, never put strain on the car when it didn't need it. And he was hugely successful with it. 4-time world champion, champion for McLaren, champion for Williams. Really successful driver. Underrated somewhat due to the fortunate having to be judged in an era when Ayrton Senna was in his pomp and often his teammate or his main rival, so that kind of cast a little shadow down on Prost's ability, I think, which is massively unfair to the little Frenchman with a funny broken nose and suspiciously curly hair. But that's great. But then you look at drivers like Senna, like Villeneuve, like Peterson, sideways all the time. Nowhere near, I mean Senna was obviously very successful, but Peterson and Villeneuve and drivers of that kind, nowhere near as successful as Prost. But absolutely crowd favourites, massively entertaining. You knew when they were on track something exciting was going to happen. And that's what draws people into motorsport. Today's stupid, sensible police going out there, or the Green Brigade, wanting us all to drive around in stupid self-driving electric lawnmowers in the next 10 years. I'm grateful to the Americans for still making stuff like this, bucking the trend. Let's burn a ridiculous amount of fuel in a really short space of time to make a big, loud noise and go sideways and burn some I know I sound like Jeremy Clarkson, don't I? Go sideways and burn some tyre smoke. That's what fun is. That's what people sign up for. They're not interested in, well, I'm just making sweeping generalisations and I'm probably totally wrong, but technology is nice, technology is very important, and there's a place for that, absolutely. But you look at Formula 1, for example. I know, couldn't be further away from Formula 1, driving a C6 Corvette Grand Sport, but hey-ho. But you look at Formula 1, for example, in my humble opinion, and I'm sure many, many people will disagree with this one, it's not about technology, it's not about being the fastest Formula on Earth. It should be about excellent racing. That's all it should be. Just good, clean, close, hard racing. It should be spectacular. I should go to a Grand Prix and watch Formula 1 drivers and think, whoa, they're superheroes. I can't do what they're doing. They're doing 140 mile an hour sideways, 2 cars next to them battling for position. You just don't get that nowadays. They're all on rails. I don't care about going less than 1 minute 40 round Spa. That doesn't impress me at all. I'd rather do a 3-minute lap round Spa, but it be spectacular, be sideways, be close, hard, clean, fair fighting. And that's why something like, for example, the Caterham Club Sport Trophy, or Renault Clio Cup, or any given touring car series, is just far superior as a product than Formula 1 is, in my humble opinion. And that's kind of got nothing to do with anything that we're doing here, so I don't know why I got onto that. But, it's because these go sideways and I like sideways. That's right. That's why I still love cars like this. And that's why I love sim racing. But when the world goes mad and we're all driving autonomous vehicles that don't make a sound and are as inspirational as the second poo of the day, you still got stuff like this. You're still going to have this kind of fun to be had when it's been banned and vilified and people look down their noses at you for suggesting that you've even got a modicum of interest in something that runs on petrol. We'll still have sim racing and we'll still have this kind of fun. And that, people, is the law according to Paul, and that's a great thing because these kind of cars are what put smiles on faces. These kind of cars are what we enjoy. Like to go sideways, like to do silly things, like to drive by the seat of our pants. And it's a dying breed, that sort of behaviour. Apart from in America, where they don't seem to care about things like that, and they've got no interest in creating the next McLaren 720S. They just keep building really bad at cornering cars with massive loud engines in them, where you've got to turn, wait for 5 minutes for it to think about turning, and then stamp on loud pedal to get the back end round and make it go around that corner. And that's beautiful, and that's why when I earn millions of pounds one day through probably a lottery win or maybe the death of a relative that I don't know exists, I will go out first thing and buy me one of these. And I will go and find either a tame racing track somewhere that I can use or a massive expanse of land, and I will go through 5 sets of tyres. And I'll come away smelling of rubber, covered in sweat, probably 5 or 6 grand lighter, but with huge grin attached to my face. And you tell me that someone that can tool their road car in under 2 minutes around Spa because it's full of electronic goodness will have the same amount of fun as I had at the local supermarket car park in my 10-year-old Chevrolet Corvette. And I will call them a liar if they say that's more fun than I've had, because it won't be. It absolutely will not be. And this car does a wonderful job at representing that sort of experience. I've not actually talked about the mod, folks, I'm sorry. I promised you in the first video I did where I wasn't recording myself, I talked about it extensively, and then just didn't want to say it all again. It's awesome. It looks the business, sounds the business, the physics, again done by David, are of the first rate variety. The force feedback feels beautiful. The car is responsive to what I'm asking it to do, but slidey. I like this more than the other one, which goes against my grain because I tend to favour older cars normally in my sim racing, but this one's got the characteristics of a classic car, i.e. it does stuff like that, but some of the refinements of a more modern machine, which is a bit lighter on the steering, the heads-up display that you see in front of you just above the steering wheel there, so brilliant. Number 2 of 4, fabulous car, C6 Grand Sport, really like it. For me, so far, ranking just a little bit above the last one, but we've still got 2 more to go, so let's see what they're like. And we're back again, this time in the 2012 C6 Z06. And they're off. So, visually, probably not a great deal of difference you will notice between the Grand Sport that we've just driven, but still looking forward. Oh, hello. Still looking forward to putting it through its paces. I now know which way the corners go pretty much, so that's a big bonus as well. We'll have a much more aggressive opening lap. This car feels squirrely, even in a straight line. Ooh. And equally poor on the brakes. Look at that for a slide and 3/4. There we go. We made it though. That's been a car destroying opening lap, but damage is not on, so we need not worry ourselves much there. Now this one, as I say, is 2012. So we're going up in the world from where we started out our videos, and immediately I'm feeling we've got a lot more sideways than we have done previously, and a lot more understeer as well by the looks of it. So this one is an altogether feeling, anyway at this stage in its default setup state, an altogether less refined car than the Grand Sport we drove last time out. Probably got a few more horses under the hood. Definitely got a lot more understeer. You can see they're really having to wind the lock on board to get this thing around the Patriot course at Virginia. We get no inside action there, but we will get a bit of sideways action because sideways is fun, as we've said several times. Oh man, to apply a handbrake now would be just wild. Feels like a drift car. Feels like a drift car, this thing. I can't believe people actually drive these on the road. It's a good job. There's a lot of straight lines and intersections over in the US of A, so I can imagine doing this somewhere around the Peak District would be wicked. If ever I make a bucket load of money somehow, I'm going to get something like this and I'm going to go to Switzerland and drive it on silly roads, because that will probably be the last thing I ever do. But if you're going to go, you go with a smile on your face, people, because there's no other way to do it. Right, look at that, yes, nice. You know what, guys, somebody, here's a challenge to any modder out there watching this. Can you please make a legal version of the original BBC Top Gear test track? I know there are Top Gear test track versions out there on the tinterweb with suspicious origins, potentially having come from other games without permission. If someone can just make one that I'm actually allowed to show on the RD YouTube channel, because we don't endorse at any stretch of the imagination rip content. We like content created from scratch here at RD the way it should be, not stolen from other modders or other games. If someone could do that, that'd be wicked. I'd love to do that, and a Top Gear leaderboard time trial type thing would be most fun, I'm sure. A car like this that does that every time you press the loud pedal would be very interesting around a Top Gear test track type circuit. Wow, this place is hard to pass on, especially cars of this size. But doing these videos, learn a new track, that's no bad thing. So, talking about the mod again. Come on, Paul, let's try and just stay on topic a little bit, please. This is another excellent addition to the 4-car Corvette lineup. Again, same thing, they're all work in progress, although you wouldn't be able to tell by looking at it. You would think it's very much a finished product. They're all work in progress by someone who's the modder name, not just someone at random, but username, some, and the figure 1. So I dare say there may be things coming to these in the future. He certainly seems to be quite prolific in his adding of different models to the range, but they really feel well done, pretty well finished already. So cockpit on this one looks resplendent. Again, love the little red stitching detail. If you look at the centre console above where the gear stick and handbrake would be. I love the reflection of what appears to be carbon on there. Is it carbon? I love the detail that's going into that. That's really high quality. That looks the business, does that. Not tried these cars in VR yet. Oh, that was a cheeky overtake, but it's cost him. Ah, get off, get away, spin you swine. Yeah, not tried these cars in VR yet, although I'm sure they're pretty damn epic, if I'm honest. But certainly on the single screen that I'm using at this moment in time, they look wonderful. And I've not spoken, actually, something I've not spoken about during these first 3 videos is the AI. Now, this is a road car, it's a softly sprung road car, it goes sideways to the drop of a hat, and I'm racing on a really tight course with big curves, lots of undulations, so really putting the AI in a bit of a spot here with this combination, so stressing it out to the max, and the AI is doing a damn fine job. AI in Assetto Corsa, not bad, not spectacular, but not bad. And it's really handling these cars quite nicely indeed, thank you very much. Now, I've not really driven them anywhere else particularly, so I've still got some time to find in a variety of different situations with these cars, but certainly from what I've seen during the making of this video, they're very, very solid indeed. So credit where credit's due to someone and his team, and also to the makers of VIR and this Patriot course layout for their work on the AI as well. But they're behaving themselves very nicely indeed, very nicely raceable. Apart from that, when I've tapped his back end, this is a little bit slow. But he kept it under control. That was a pretty good save, fella. Not bad at all. In fact, he's doing a better job than I am. So yeah, the AI is actually really good. So these makes these cars a very raceable offline prospect, which is nice, because obviously not everybody goes and does their racing online. It's also very difficult nowadays to find, because there's so many mods, it's very difficult to find a populated server of your favourite mod, because there's just so much to choose from, as well as so much default content out there, and makes it all the more important to have a good offline AI experience, which is absolutely what I'm getting with these cars. I've really enjoyed my time making these 4 separate videos. Well, this is the 3rd, I've not done the 4th one yet, but I really enjoyed my time making them, racing against the AI. It's been enjoyable, it's been a nice experience. Well, hey, sideways, sideways. It's been a nice experience, so that's another little positive tick to put in the box for this little 4-car pack of Corvettes for Assetto Corsa by the modder Sun1. They perform well, they look well, they sound well, they feel good, they've got good FPS, they've got good force feedback, and the AI is very nice indeed. Thank you. So all round, to be honest, I've got no negatives to which I can point to any of the cars that I've driven so far. Now, whether you'd like to know which one I like the most so far, probably don't, but I'm going to tell you anyway, because I've got 2 laps in which to continue my ramblings. I think I'm liking this one. This is becoming the number 1. The Grand Sport was the original leader of the pack in terms of how much I'm liking the cars, but this one's just, around this track anyway, with the default setup, a little bit more fruity than the Grand Sport. Grand Sport was sideways enough as it was, so it's not exactly like you've got a boring drive there at all. It's marvellous, but this one's even wilder than the Grand Sport, it feels, and because we're not doing massively high speeds, because we're not on a particularly quick circuit, that level of feistiness is really nice. As you can see there, I'm getting a bit of a dab on trying to keep this thing on the track. I like that, and it's it's controllable, it's predictable sliding. It's not doing weird and wonderful, bizarre things that you're not expected. You know it's going to do what it's going to do when it's going to do it. You can feel it's getting ready to do it through the wheel, and that makes pleasure. That is a nice combination, which I enjoy very much. Last lap pass, can we do it? No, no, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. We're not going to get him there, there's no point trying. So yeah, this is my favourite of the 3 that we've driven so far. And Yippee-ki-yay, still got one to go. So, oh, it's hit me. It's okay, we got away with it. Had to go grass tracking, but we got away with it. I mean, there you go, look, I've just put the power down and the back end goes out. How good's that? Awesome. So yeah, that's the C6 Z06. Nice. Next, and last but no means least, we have the Corvette C4 Zr1, also of 2012 vintage. And they're away, bit slow off the line. Whoa, a lot slow off the line actually. Score! Plenty of places made. A Gabriele Tarquini-esque start there. And away we go. So this car, immediately noticeable, is very similar in appearance to the last car we took out. Oh, he's a little bit steadier away. Is the AI, it looks like, on this opening lap. But we'll persevere and see what we can do. Again, equally a big car. Likes to go sideways, as one would expect and hope from something like this. And away we go in our 4th. God, it's not really good on the brakes. Even less so it feels on the brakes than the last couple of examples that we've took out for a spin. So, car 4 of the, as it currently stands, 4-car Corvette pack is here. And I've had a whale of a time with all of them. This one, the AI don't seem as good on this one, I must admit. I don't know whether I'm just having a bad run of it with them in this particular race, or whether that's even a reflective behaviour of the way the AI are with this particular car, but it does seem like they're making 1 or 2 mistakes and they're a little bit more unpredictable, but got a few more laps left yet to test that theory out and see how it goes. Now this car, I was almost going to say, feels a little bit more stable, a little bit more flatly planted to the track, so it doesn't feel quite as softly sprung as the other 3. I may well be wrong on that one, I'm just taking my impressions from the opening couple of laps. But it feels the car's a little bit more level, it's doing a little bit less dipping under braking. The body roll's not quite as significant in the corners, and as such I dare say, now the understeer's still there though, I dare say when I settle down and the race settles down slightly, this will be a slightly less sideways experience, although I'm proving the lie to that by just losing the rear on the bump into that downhill chicane, which has necessitated a little bit of lawn mowing. It's a good job it's not a wet day today here at VIR, otherwise that grass would be a mess now. It doesn't look like the outside of the old airpin at Donington Park on a wet November. Which, for those of you that have never been at the outside of the old hairpin at Donington Park on a wet November, I will tell you is a muddy, muddy, muddy experience. But it's not, because there is no rain in Assetto Corsa. So, it will never be a muddy experience, because there will never be rain. It will always be baked, glorious Virginia sunshine, all VIR. Unless you get yourself a shader mod. Whoa. Which is something, I'll be honest. There's the now very popular and semi-legendary Ilias shader mod for AC. I have not tried that yet, and that'll be something I'll look into one day when I've got some time and do a little video about, because I'm very curious to see what that thing offers, and also the different weather mods that are available. Not got much in the way of that. I'm a bit scared when it comes to things like this. I've got AC running nice, got it running nice, good FPS, good quality graphic settings on screen and also on VR. So I'm always a little bit scared to add anything new to the mix in case it changes that and I can't get it back. For that exact reason, I've not got Content Manager either, which is something else that's, I believe, a very popular and well-regarded community-made addition to the sim. So that's something else I'll be looking at one day in the near future. But time, my friends, is not something I am rich in at the moment. So we'll look at that whenever time allows. I need some elective surgery or something so I can get some time off work. Free me up to do these things. Any suggestions of what that could be? Gratefully received. I hope my management's not reading this, but don't worry, I am not going for elective surgery if you are, boss, so it's all good, it's all fine. Right, the car. Like I say, feels a little bit, not much, more refined in the corners, a bit more understeery, a little bit more squirrely under the brakes, but still very Corvette-esque, very in keeping with the other three cars that have been released thus far. And a very nice motor it is. Difficult to tell on this shorter VIR Patriot course that we picked for these test drives. I'm sure on somewhere like Laguna Seca or Watkins Glen or Road America, one of the other big Assetto Corsa US track mods that are out there, we might have a very different experience of these three cars when you can really let them have the head a little bit and you're breaking down from greater speeds. But on this short point and square Mickey Mouse, some could say, version of VIR, this one feels a little bit more stable on the loud pedal, but a little bit more dramatic under braking. I don't know whether it's a bigger car in terms of weight than the others, and oops, mouse has got a little mind of its own there and brought the side menu up, so shift that out of my lap. Forgot to move it before I started the video, but these things happen. It's way past midnight, so I'm not starting again. I'm sure no one's going to mind too much for that little indiscretion that we've done there. This one seems to be a little bit more susceptible to the bumps of VIR than the other cars I've driven, which again leads more credit to my assumption that this is a more stiffly sprung, flatter to the road surface car than the other three are. So a little bit more leaning towards a race car type configuration than was the case in the earlier three we drove, but still being essentially a road car and still being a quite raw machine that it is. So none of the cars offer a straightforward or simple or boring drive. Goodness no, none of them do. But this one I think probably on a bigger course will be the more friendly. Be the more friendly of the four, shall we say, for a driver new to this kind of racing. Though it does not like the dip there, I've got to admit. This guy's holding me up now. We need to find a way past Peeps in the next 2 laps. Can we do it? That is our challenge. While I summarise the 4 car pack of Corvettes by the very talented modder Someone. How can I summarise these cars then, peeps? Well, they're all different in the way they drive. They all offer you something new and interesting. They're all an exceptionally good drive. They all look absolutely brilliant. There's some great work that's gone on in the 3D model and the detail. The cockpits look particularly superb, which is very important to me. The force feedback on all three is different in each case. They all offer something a little bit different while still being essentially American muscle cars and all the goodness that comes with an American muscle car. And it's really overall an exceptionally good quality pack. A must-have for anybody that's got even a mild amount of interest in this kind of car or road cars in general. And in fact, even if you don't, I have no interest in road cars, but this is something that I've thoroughly enjoyed doing, and I'm very glad that I have discovered these and spent a bit of time in them, because they've been absolutely ace, and I wouldn't hesitate to get back behind the wheel again in future with these cars. So a must-have download, I think, guys, quite certainly. And if you did want to download it, it's available at rd.com, RaceDepartment.com. So head over to the Assetto Corsa mods subforum, and you'll find the details there and the change lists, and if and when someone posts updates or new models into the category, that will be detailed there for your downloading, viewing and rating pleasure. So yeah, really like them, really impressed with them. A great pack of cars, a great mod, superb work. Absolute massive kudos to everybody involved in bringing these to AC. They add yet another new element of goodness to what is certainly one of the most content-rich racing simulators we've got at this moment in time, and I've loved it. 10 out of 10, really. If any of you, just to echo a comment that someone has put, as in the modder someone, not someone as in a random person, has put on their release notes, if there is a talented sound modder out there that wishes to make bespoke sounds for these cars, get in touch with someone. That's SOME1 at Race Department. They'd be happy to hear from you, I'm sure, because it's using borrowed sounds at the moment from Kunos stock content, and it's brilliant. Real scream, really well done in every respect. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. I hope you have enjoyed the video too. You're watching it here first on Twitch, so give us a follow or a subscribe on Twitch, that'd be great. And we'll also be showing this a little bit later on YouTube, so again, give us a subscribe on YouTube please, that would be marvellous. And I've been Paul Jeffrey, as always. This has been RDTV. Massively grateful for your time that you've taken to watch this video of the wicked collection of Corvettes mod for Assetto Corsa. Till next time guys, stay safe, have a good one. Sim racing is awesome.